Hello, there's three in. Sorry about me tardiness. I were having PC issues trying to get in. It picked the worst time to freeze and I had to switch off and reboot. So happy days, back again. Anybody done anything interesting? Anybody spent the day doing anything exciting, etc.? I'm going to touch my camera now, probably knock it off computer or something. There we go, that's a bit sharper. Hello, Mick. How you doing over there in sunny Ireland? Gonna tell me it's pissing down in a minute. I've been here. Been dreary here. Well, what I've seen has anyway. Hello, how we doing, Shedmer? Day in the shed. I've had a day at the bench. That's what caused my computer to crash. I was trying to reduce the size of my image for my header, whatever it's called. Everything froze, so I had to switch off, put it back on. I've shrunk it at the moment, and I might go in while we're streaming and try and start the upload. But I've restored a Belgian SNCB electric locomotive today. Well, I started it last night, but I got fed up because it got to a point. I looked at it and I thought, rather than mess around with the old stuff, do a complete rewiring. It's not ideal how I'd like it, but I'd have had to wire resistors in and stuff so it had the forwards lights when it was going forwards, backwards when it. But somebody's painted it back red anyway, so it should have both on, but the tail lights are red and the front lights are white. And I don't think it changed hands, but I'm considering doing DCC and making it so I can switch hands with the lights and have. It's got 4 headlights in all, so you can do 2 red and 2 white on both ends. So you can make it so it shows white going forwards and red going backwards. So I guess I'll be doing that alteration. I think I'll probably do it DCC. It's an interesting enough little logo. It's, once you pick it up, it's fairly easy. I've hardwired a Hornby class 47. I've put sound and DCC sound and lights and everything. It's good. I get it were a learning curve because you have to wire when you're doing lighting. You have to wire resistors in, and on LEDs, they have like staggered pins like that, and the long ones you're positive, and the short ones you're negative. So you can't get them mixed up, really. That's quite simple. Then where you put your resistor on, you have to work out Ohm's law, though, for picking your resistors, like Ohm's law and calculator and work out how much you need for the voltage to drop it down to the like LEDs, Joe. I'm amazed that I haven't, I'll be honest, Martin. Absolutely amazed that I haven't at some point. Yeah. And, it's one of them things that's complicated, but once you get the idea behind it, because hardwiring your DCC in is fairly simple, because you've got the two wires that come off your pickups. Depending on how it is, you may have to insulate. Some locals you have to insulate the motor and stuff so it's not picking up off the chassis. And then you get your two wires from your pickup go into the chip, they come out again with the two wires to the motor, and then you have your lighting circuits and that, and your sound circuits. It's not that tricky. It's just a steady hand and just sitting there going, what the hell am I doing, like? But it's easy enough to pick up. So what have you been doing in the shed, Martin? I'm Mick, to be honest. Have you got up to out in the shed, Mick? I've not been at the bench because I've not been at the computer a lot today because I've been doing the local. Hello, Jerry. How the hell are you in New York? Oh, cool. Have you been out? Have you been up to anything in sunny New York, Jerry? Yeah, I know. I've seen Evie on the job today. I saw you post. I've sent you PM with my address, Martin. You mentioned you wanted it. So I've sent you Facebook PM. $14. Jeez. No worries, Martin. Pleasure. Think it's lovely how you get daughter involved. I was chuckling today watching her on base sports, getting them done with her. Give her the difficult stuff and have a coffee, Martin. Or a tea, whatever it is. I know the feeling. I think I could do some of that, Jerry. If I tidied up, I wouldn't find anything, though. Totally throw me off. It's a beautiful thing, Martin. Some people nowadays have no time for the kids and don't do anything with them. They just throw them on an Xbox or whatever. It's a beautiful thing to see nowadays. Makes me chuckle, though. She's a white. She reminds me of my niece at that age. Where does time go? I think my niece is what? 45 heading to 50 now. Where did that go? Yeah, lovely to have you along, Jerry. Nice to have an international flavour. We've got Ireland, America, and the UK. And any in the background, anywhere different. There's 7 around, some are listening in and not answering. Trying to think what you're on, Jerry. Are you on morning or evening? You'll be on morning now. Well, morning going into dinner, is it? I don't know. I can't even work out time difference from here to work. And it's only 100 yards away. Mid-afternoon, bit later than I thought. I knew you were a bit late, bit earlier than us. Earlier, I don't know. Yeah, because I remember when 9/11 happened, it was round about tea time for us. Yeah, it is Mick. I don't know. I can't even work out time differences in this country, and we don't have any. So, hang on, let's have a look, Mick. What is it you're on with in the shed, Mick? Oh, you've done the mini. That's that corgi mini in it, yeah. Is it the Mini Cooper or should I say, is it the Austin Mini or the Morris Mini? Because they did the 2 different versions. Not that there were that much difference. But it's amazing. You go to shows now, Mini Minor. Yeah, you go to car shows now, and if you look at the minis, it's amazing how many of the newer minis, like 1990s minis, they put in early mini grills on, like from the 60s. They fit, but if you're restoring them proper, it's not proper grill for them to have. But they look good. I don't know whether they're still there, but there were a place near me, near where I lived, that specialises in nothing but minis. They do. If you want anything for a mini, they have it. And I mean the original minis, not the BMW. Wish I was. Yeah, the original lost Austin Coopers and stuff. I've paid a visit a few times, and you go in the yard, and some of the customers' cars that pull in, oh, stunning. You have everything from race minis to the original early classics. You get vans in there, pickups, anything mini. It's great seeing them. Martin, I've still to finish editing all my photos from Steam Fair, and I think I'll do a video, but I've got a mini pickup on there. Well, there were 2 mini pickups, quite nice ones. Mini pickups are proper rare than vans and pickups. There used to be one of the lads when I were a teenager, and where I lived, one of the lads that came round our way, he used to have a Tahiti blue mini pickup. It looked really nice. Yeah, some proper minis. They were really good. I can say I've driven one, but I'd have liked to have driven more. I've driven a few. I worked for Rover in the final years, when they had the John Cooper tribute one out, and they had a 1400 injection in it. They were a nippy thing. Oh, lovely. Get a pop kettle on, Martin. Hi, Alice. You all right, dude? How we diddling? I covered it last week about... I think I covered it last week about that DMU my dad saved, and I've got... When I get the chance, I've got the photos, and I'll scan his letter of reward and everything. Post it. But I was looking through the photos to find the unit. And I've downloaded the photos of the actual one he saved, but it were a 105. It was a 105 DMU. I think they were a Cravens. Looks pretty good. They were nice, the Mini Traveller Mick. Oh, well, they were different to the Minor Traveller, the Morris Minor. The wood was structural. On the actual Mini Traveller, it weren't structural. They actually stuck the wood on the Mini Traveller. But on the Morris Minor, all the wood at the back end was structural. Which really, it's a good thing they did that with a Mini. Because I saw a Morris Minor Traveller when they were hit up the arse end. Not a pretty sight. Especially when it's a truck that did the hitting. Matchbox or matchwood all over the road. Just the 2 seats left at the front. All right, Bally's 56. Yeah, my brother had an ex-ministry, Moggy Thou, and his were in Trafalgar Blue with blue seats. Like most of them, they were Trafalgar Blue and they did blue seats, you know. They were nice, but my brothers were an MOD order. So it were probably RAF or whatever. Yeah, most of them were Valleys. If it were Trafalgar Blue, I'm pretty sure they were all blue seats. Might be wrong. There's always some out there that'll pick you wrong, prove you wrong. Especially you can get people do special order, do factory order from dealers. Say I'll have Trafalgar Blue, but I want a black interior or a red interior or whatever. But yeah, that was a nice little car my brother got. He bought it from his insurance payout from his motorcycle accident when a car crossed his path and he had no option but to hit it, really. Oh, yeah, but once you get the proper builders, I were building one that I could have done with a proper garage, really. I got it 3/4 done, but there were more metal welding in than I actually bought once I'd acted out. Luckily, I didn't pay a lot. I paid about £100, but I got 75 quid's worth of rust. But yeah, that was a labour welding all. I had to weld. It had gone everywhere. You couldn't say there were a bit that wasn't rotten. Yeah, they usually do, Valleys. It's very rare that the travellers don't rot out eventually. No matter how you look after them, you have to have... If you have one, you should really have it garaged. It's wooden in the elements end of day. And as cars are, you can't get down the backs to seal everything. It'll get in somewhere and rot. And the problem is, by the time it starts showing on a minor, it's extensive. They're that well built, by the time rot's showing, it's shot underneath. Wow. When did you get that one, Matt? One Escort 1300? Especially 500-mile long clock. Don't be telling me 1970. Hi, Andy. Good evening. Yeah, don't be telling me you got that in 1970. Because let's put it this way, if you've got it recently, you've got deep pockets for a Mark 1 Escort 1300E. Yeah, it weren't recently. Oh, beautiful. In good condition, now it would be heading up to 10 grand. In good condition, they're silly money now. Nice, Andy. My old chap had the Hillman Californian, the coupe version. Good stuff. Good stuff, Valleys. Yeah, but they've just climbed astronomically in the last few years. If it's 1970s and has Ford on it, and in nice condition now, it's frightening money. If you afford, mind you, classic cars in general. Yeah, they were made up there, Andy. Made in, flipping out, I can't think of name now. But they were made up Scotland. They were made at the old Hillman factory. Well, they were Hillman, but that's it, Linwood, couldn't think of name. It's up in Scotland. Trying to think now, were they a vacuum throttle pedal or were they a cable? Trying to remember now. Yeah, it will be. It's that side over, isn't it, Linwood? We always had Hillmans back in the day. Yeah, but I'm just wondering, I'm trying to remember if they were a vacuum or an air throttle, like air tubing, or were they a cable? Can't remember now. I think some used an air throttle, but if I remember, it was a dodgy idea. It didn't work particularly well. Yeah, they did indeed, Valleys. They did indeed. He was popular in Iran. He weren't one of Hillman's nicer cars, though, I've got to admit. The Hunter, about the nicest one they did of the Hunter was the Rapier. Yeah. Yeah, they were just a box, weren't they, though, the Hunter? My brother had one and one my friend's sister had one back in the day. My brother's, every time he went round the corner, his driver's door opened. So eventually he just tied it shut and got in from passenger side. Or to be that young and agile again. He'd just come out of the army then. I think he was used to jumping in vehicles from wherever. I've got one. I've got a proper spray booth with extractor valleys. And I should use it more. I think I used it about 3 times when I did customs for my diecast channel. Cracking bit of gear, but I don't use it. I should do, really. Especially because I've had breathing problems since COVID. Yeah, 1300 Austins and Morrises. They were a good car. My old fella had the Riley version. The Riley one with all the wood, the shag pile carpet, leather and chrome and everything. Beautiful car. Two-tone paint. It looked really well. My old fella had the Harry Potter Anglia. Same colours. That was a nice little car. My brother-in-law had the Rarer Estate Anglia. I were always sitting back of that when I were going out hunting for cars for my old fella. Yeah, the Morrison that, and you had the Riley and Wolseley versions. Shag, shag pile. Ooh, missus. It was that deep, your testicles dropped into it while you were driving. Behave, Paul. Stop it. I knew a bloke across the road from me in 70s. He lived in South Africa and he come over here and he brought a Peugeot 504 saloon car with him. So he brought it from South Africa, and then when he went back, he took it back to South Africa with him. I thought, how much has he paid to globetrot that car? I'd have just sold it here and bought another one when I got back to South Africa. I didn't get it at all. He must have really liked the car. But he shipped it both ways. Yeah, I'd imagine that were a good idea, I bet. I bet you got them cheap over there back then, the Type 2s. I bet they were going for nothing at one point in Africa. Import them back here. I bet there's a few still going. Because you never hear of any scrap. They weld them back together and everything. So there's definitely got to be some of them left. Yeah, correct. They wouldn't rust in Joburg. Wouldn't rust there at all. My old fella spent a lot of his youth stamping ground in Durban by courtesy of Adolf Hitler and the Royal Navy. Not Adolf Hitler leading the Royal Navy. He was just he kicked up a bit of bother when my dad were a kid. So he ended up over there in Durban. I think he got to Joburg at one point. They used to mooch around on the days off. Ah, cool. Cool, Valleys. I've got a friend up here who's, I'm trying to think, I think he's South African military. He's one of the girls' husbands at work. And I've got him on friend lists. Occasionally, when I do painting of aircraft and stuff, he sends me pictures of South African aircraft and South African fighting vehicles that were in the army when he was there. He'd have been busy then. Yeah, he'd have been busy. My brother were ex-RA. Yeah, he's been cool. Cool stuff, Valleys. My dad were on the big battleships, and I forget what range they were, but it were a phenomenal range. Firing land from out at sea. From a position, the people on land couldn't get them back. Amazing firepower some of the old warships had on them, well, battleships. No. My old mum were on Queen Elizabeth, HMS Queen Elizabeth. They had 15-inch guns and stuff. I think it was 15-inch. They could punt the shells miles inland. Fantastic, Valleys. Yeah, like I said, my old fella was on the Queen Elizabeth. Like a lot of people think the Queen Elizabeth aircraft carrier now is named after our Queen, but it's quite wrong. It's named after Queen Elizabeth I, because it's still got the actual crest of the ship is Queen Elizabeth I's Royal House crest. Yeah, I believe you, Valleys. You need it in Africa. There's quite a bit of differences, quite a bit of distances between places. Hi Evie, how you doing, sweet pig? Have you had a good day? I believe you've been helping your pops. Well, I've seen pictures of you helping your pops. Putting baseboards up. Good work it looks. Have you put right all your dad's mistakes? Yeah, I can't wait for your next one, Evie. Your videos make me chuckle. Cheer me day up. Yeah, you do a good job. You have some good ideas, kid. Yeah, but my daddy's was he did a few. He was on an experimental minesweeper where he was classified. I believe you, Evie. Totally believe you. You've improved all his mistakes. They'll run perfect when you're finished, Evie. Young pair of eyes, all those dinosaurs are getting on. Look at the state of that. I'm amazed I can see through that, really. Walking down street, I keep thinking I'm getting chased by gollywogs. It's an old thing, that, Evie. Don't think it's racist. It used to be. We used to have them on jam jars, Robinson's jam. And what I'm saying is, it's like the bottom of a jam jar. Oh, I tell you, I don't think there's a bit of me that isn't on the way out valleys. I'm semi-blind in that eye, which is a pain in the arse at work because I'll be walking down corridor and I keep hitting things on this side. I walk into hoists, fire extinguishers. People are interesting. Walked into a few of them. That's funny. Shit, the other way. One of girls, young Asian girl, I just went up to her and she comes out of her room, weren't looking where she were going. And I went, boom. Shit, she had a meltdown. I thought, oh God, I'm up to HR, up to human resources and in trouble again. Well, I don't know. I can't see proper. Yeah, it's me. I don't know which one's that. Hang on, me left. My left. I had to work out which one it was then because the camera reverses, so I don't know. You'll soon find out, Evie. I think I might be pregnant. Either that, Jerry, or I'm just fat. Yeah, I know the feeling, Andy. I'm not in first flush of youth myself. I can't. Let's put it this way: I can't run battle fitness tests like I used to, or like do the 10-mile runs like I used to and stuff. It's one thing you won't get away from, Mick. Night, Evie. Take care, sweetheart. Have a good day tomorrow. Dickie, Dickie, what's Dickie? Oh, God, that's it. I've got pins and needles now. If I tried running, if I set off to run, honestly, I'd fall over. I've not touched it as yet. I've been off all week, but I'm waiting till not next week. Not next payday, probably the one after. I need a little bit of wood to finish off the last board. Then I can start. I want to clamp the boards together because I want it so you can strip down, but at the same time, I want it permanent. So if I clamp it together, it's going to be together for a good long time till it's undone because it's not going exhibitions or anything. So once I've got the last board up, I'll probably make brackets and bolt them together so they're nice and level for track laying. Then start on my adventures of laying the track. So, but it's been decided for me 60th next year. Me and my friend who are close together 60th. We're going out to the Algarve with a few friends and have a week in the Algarve. And I've got Birmingham and Coventry coming up with Mick. Go for weekend there with Mick. See what I can find at a toy fair. Going to Coventry toy fair. If anyone else is heading out there, be good to meet you. What it is, me and Mick, we members, and Jerry's here as well. We members on Facebook, Diecast Modelers Community. And when the toy fairs are on, we meet up. We'll probably have a breakfast and have a mooch around the showground, have a brew together. Like have a catch up, have a laugh. See what each other are buying. Last time I went, I got mostly trains, but I have some die casts I should be getting on with. I've only got about 1,000. Old 60s corgis and dinkies and stuff. I don't think I'll ever get behind them. I don't think I'll ever get all them done before I shuffle my coil off. But my layout's my main project at the moment. It's like model kits. I've got about 300 model kits. Plastic model kits, and most of them I don't think I'll do any. So a lot of them might go on eBay. Some I'll give away to friends. But I've got all sorts. I've got resin kits, plastic kits, vac forms, you name it, mostly 1/72nd. But I do have other scales. Yeah, the trouble with me, if I tried running at the moment, my leg's shot and my knee after a motorcycle accident. And it has an habit of bending the opposite way to what it's meant to. And when it does it and I nearly go over, I squeal like a pup. I think one day it is going to dislocate and I am going to go over. So that's something novel to look forward to. Good stuff. Well, what we do on the diecast modelers community, it's mostly diecast, but it covers anything. People can come in that are into model railways, plastic modelling. We have a lad that's in there. He's one of the top YouTubers in country for Airfix. He promotes Airfix a lot, but he comes in, so you get all sorts in. It's quite interesting little forum. We have a get together every Friday in a chat. We call it Tavern. You couldn't do it live on Facebook. too much swearing, etc. And I'm not gonna lie, usually by me. Ain't gonna lie. Yeah, God, what forgot? I've got all sorts up here. I've lost count of what I've got now. To be honest, I like doing custom stuff occasionally. Customizing them, I'm doing code 3s. That one's one. It was originally a Mercedes builder's truck, but I cut the box off the Mercedes because the Mercedes had a smashed cab, and it was a Dodge Castle wagon. So I took the plastic box off the back of them and mounted them together. So I've got a code 3 never was that I built, something a bit different. Oh. Hey, Valleys, you get on with Lee in our group, DMC. He's a Land Rover fanatic, and that's what he does. He just collects Land Rovers. Well, not just Land Rovers, but he has a big collection of solely Land Rovers. That one was a normal rally car, but I made it into a car I had in the 80s. 1987, a Renault 14 GTL. It was a solid roof, but I opened the roof up, and the old roof slid back, so the full roof were open, and I made that out of a Pepsi can. So yeah, I've done my own cars. Somewhere abouts there's a Ford Escort dog warden van. Cab up. Well, forward control Land Rover they were called, Valleys. I've known a couple of lads that have had them, the beasts. One of the lads I knew, he'd had a V8 in it. He were a beastly thing. Yeah, mate, I tried to get a lot of the stuff I had as a kid. Like I say, I like practicing airbrush techniques as well. And I do custom paint. That's a bit dusty now. But custom fades and everything. Yeah, me too, Mick. It locks, and well, I have to walk with it locked, or it'd collapse under me. Like my leg, where it should bend that way, every so often it'll go that way, and it hurts like a bitch. Yeah, that's. I think a lot of us do that, Valleys. I've got to, mind you, I don't buy everything I had as a kid. Well, I've got. I'll be honest. I have every loco I had as a kid. No, only had to. But as a younger gentleman, I think I've got all the locos I had as a younger gentleman. Except I bought a lot of Triang princesses. I don't really touch them now. Like the older Triang, it's sad, but it's had its day really now. It doesn't work on modern track, and all they are if you get on them is shelf sitters. The trains are less trouble, Valleys. Believe me, Linda were gorgeous, but nowadays I'd rather have a brew, a cheese and onion pie, and the Flying Scotsman. I'm not sure which order I prefer them in, though, to be honest. You know, she looked beautiful, Linda. But if you went out with for a bit, she'd only be like the others. You'd be, oh, for God's sake. The breathing, it's just out, in, out, every day. She were a very pretty girl back in the day, Linda. You could keep Samantha Fox. Definitely Linda always, she was gorgeous. Now, here's a tale for you. Martin I went to a Radio 1 road show with an ex-girlfriend back in 1986, I think it was. It was in Manchester, Albert. I think it was Albert Square in Manchester. And you had a couple of people on, and I said, right, you can go up and watch such and such. I said to her, you sit up and watch such and such. I said, but when Samantha Fox comes on, can you come down and we'll swap over, and I want to be up there for good view. All I'll say is she was a cat. Samantha Fox come on, I goes, come on, swap over. She goes, no. Come on, swap, no. I'm going to kill you. I'll drag you off in a minute. No. She did eventually, but I could have cursed her. Yeah, but Sam Fox, she was a nice enough girl, but she's a no-go area now, isn't she, anyway? Sam Fox. Yeah, definitely no-go area. She's well and truly on the other bus. You mean the one to Oldham? No, not Oldham, don't say that, for God's sake. The one to Rochdale. Yeah, she had a bit of controversy back in the day, though, didn't she? Like, she went out with that guy and he had a con scheme going on over. Yeah, no going on the other bus. Bats for the other side. She's a friend. She's a friend of Dorothy. Don't mention the Aussies. We have the Aussies on that DMC group. There's some proper funny banter between us. We do a build at Christmas every year at Diecast between Australia and the UK. One of the lads, he actually went out to the Aussies' main cricket ground and filmed there to wind us up. Yeah, funny lad. What are you? There's the one, the Australian. Australian goes down to dinner and I'll give you the spiel. What do you want for breakfast? Said the chef, picking his nose. Boiled eggs and bananas, you bastard. You can't get your fingers in those. Yeah, I've been bad. I've had one go round with too many Aussies in my day. That girlfriend I went to that Radio 1 roadshow with, she were an ex-Sydney girl from Sydney. Funny characters they are. Used to make me laugh, her. In the Australian Air Force, fly that low, we dig up earthworms. Yeah, pass for the Aussies. Jesus. Jakers. Yeah, there is some funny things. No, he was probably being honest, Valleys. They can be odd. She had some odd tastes. Went out with me, so she must have done. I dread to ask what a floater pie is. I'm dreading to ask. One does. It boggles one's mind. All right, get you. That sounds like it could be interesting. I've heard of worse concoctions, I have to admit. I've had worse concoctions, if I'm honest. Very much so. I've had some crap in my time. Oh, Jesus, I've got to admit, the worst chips anywhere, mentioning chippies, the worst chips I ever had in my life was in Speke, just on a shopping precinct just outside Liverpool John Lennon Airport. And we went in and he said, "Oh, we've not sold many chips today." And he gave me about 5 kilo of them. I had bites the first one. I thought, I'm not surprised you haven't sold many. They're foul. No, that's cool. Betting offices inside and sailed so they can hose down after old Chundering. They used to have a pub in my local town that was tiled on the outside, long since demolished. But there's one in Manchester. I've been in Manchester city centre on Oxford Road. It's called Lasagowri, and that's all tiled on the outside. It's a beautiful building, but in the mid-80s, they brewed their own beer in the cellar, so you could buy all their own brew. And we're in there night on home brew. Fantastic pints. They called it Log 84 or whatever, log this, log that. All the different numbers with the different types of beer. Geez, I went home pissed that night, New Year's Eve. I were kissing policemen on bloody Piccadilly Gardens. No, I weren't, I'm lying, it were Albert Square. We went Albert Square for town hall clock. I were kissing policemen. Only 'cause there were no police women, mind. He blushed, bless him. I, I believe you, Valley. If it's old style with beautiful colours, like a rainbow, no surprise, Rick. It were going to happen eventually. Yeah, we have a full village up here in Manchester. It's actually, to be honest, it's one part of town I've had the least amount of trouble in when I've been in. Most of them are nice people. I was there one night though, I was chauffeuring one night, and there were a fight outside. Something kicked off, and one lad smacked another overhead. We bottle, he collapsed and he were out cold in front of me car. Next thing I know, people I was chauffeuring for dived in back of the car and said, "Drive, let's get home, let's get out of here." So I put foot down and he says, it's all right, you can gun it. And I was driving it was a BMW 328, I think. He said, "Put your foot down," and I weren't scared, so I did. Boy, that could handle, and it was quick. You know, I went out on Friday with one of the lads I used to work with. In a group, it were girls and lads, some ex-women I worked with, and Alan. Ali's a lovely lad, have a good laugh with him. Great to have a catch-up with him. Another lad I work with, I'm in stitches every day. I miss him when he's off. He's a very funny lad. And he's very close to born. Some of the remarks he comes at with. The gay stuff, he likes Jim. How do you get away with it? Yeah, valleys, they're quick, very fast. I were gunning that around, and he turned round to me. He said, "Do you want to come round like tomorrow and take us up lakes?" I said, "I'm not being funny. I'm booked for summer." I said, "My mates asked me to babysit, and I can't." I said, "I can't let him down." But I've driven some nice cars in past doing chauffeuring, working for van hire companies, all sorts. I've not driven for ages now, to be honest. Last nice car I got in, I were a passenger. I were in my mate's E-Type. Very nice car. And me and my mate were talking the other day, bloody hell. You take your life in your hands getting in with him, because he drives it like he stole it. I've never drove an 850. They're as rocking horse shit, them things, valleys. The BMW Series 8s they were special order at one time. You can only get one if you ordered one. Drove a 7 Series. Jesus, valleys. How many months did they have to wait for another? Because I'm sure the 8 Series has always been special order. You can't just get them off the showroom floor. You get a 7 Series, but 8 Series. 8 Series is almost as rare as the M1. Yeah, I never got an 8 Series. Hey, what to be said about it, the Martin? Nice as anything. They'll go from point A to point B like any other car. Except you've not paid silly money to buy them, maintain them. Jesus. I suppose a car's last thing you worry about in them circumstances. Me mate went through a glass window and he was slashed everywhere. It's the last thing you think about because it's nasty shit. I was very lucky I went through two windows. I put my head through one window and my hand through the other. I was dating a girl at the time and she come down in the morning. She went, shit, what's gone on here? I said, oh, I slipped off edge of shower. My head went through that window and my head hand through that one. She said, have you looked at it? There was blood everywhere in shower. And she said, have you looked at window? I went, no, not really. I looked at it where my head had gone through because I was semi-pissed and it were early hours of the morning. So I went back in to have a look at it where my head had gone through. And on the bottom how the glass had smashed, it were pointed up like that, right in the middle. Just a jagged edge of glass up like that. It had just rested there when I went down, so somebody were looking after me. Yeah, they wouldn't have bothered, Valley. Jesus. I take it they sorted her, or you won't be talking about it, I presume. But Jesus, yeah, it's not good doing that artery. You've not long left if you do that one. If you don't get there quick. Thank God for that. Yeah, if you don't make it, she wouldn't have been here if she'd have waited for an ambulance anyway, put it that way. How fast you drain from that artery, you've only really got minutes. Yeah, it's on the inside of your thigh near groin. That one. Oh yeah, it'd pour up. At first when she did it, it'd squirted out. Looking furrow bit out because it's a massive artery. As I say, not long if you do that one. That's why the human body tucks it safely away in your groin. Very clever thing, the human body. Like that one's rooted on the inside of your thigh. Your ones for your arms are rooted down here. So it's where they're hidden away, really. Yeah, I forget how many minutes it is, but you've not got long if you sever that one. Impressive, down to you and down to the drivers and the surgeons. Yeah, exactly, because it's not far off the heart. Believe it or not, sounds silly. but it's about the biggest artery good to go into towards your heart. Sounds dumb, but yeah. Like in military, when I were in there, they give me battlefield first aid. And I've done first aid with who I work with now. And they've said, like, I was inquiring the other day whether they needed me go on first aid at work course, but I don't need to. I need a refresher. I were the nominated first aider, but there's that many of us now that have done first aid. It's not really needed now. I think, I did it over 4 years ago. And I think there's only been 1 or 2 times I've offered to help. Never really needed it, to be honest. Apart from on patients, which is appreciated, stopped a couple choking and stuff. Well worth having, valleys. Well worth having. You never know when you need bits of it. I've used mine a few times. Thankfully, never outside really of work, but I have used it. I've offered to use it outside work, but for like car accidents I've seen, but people have been okay. Push bike accidents, but he had broken fingers. I said, to be honest with you, there's nothing I can do. I said, all I can suggest is making it back to where you can get a brew, leave your bike, get picked up, and get taken to hospital. I said, but all they'll probably do is either strap them or, if they're bad enough, pin them up. Like I had when I had a motorbike accident, I snapped that thumb. Like normal motorbike and push bike accident, because your hands are on handlebars like that, and your thumb's there, you'll crash. First thing done, handlebar comes back and snaps your thumb. So I had it pinned back together, a couple of pins through hand. I don't know whether you can see scars now. Nah. They were only where pins went in anyway. So what have others, apart from Martin doing his baseboards, what have others done on railways? I'll give you a chance to type while I go and get a glass of water. I need to wet me whistle. Ouch. Ow. Mother mucker. Ow. Hey, no, by no means, valleys. Other people have the same option to opt in. They've all got the same chance to opt in as you have. The chat box is there. It's type and send. Don't feel you're hogging it. I'm giving it a bit longer. I don't know how long. Just having a chill. All I'll be doing after it. Oh, cool. Which livery have you got it in? Oh, God, Martin, you're killing me. Are they getting anywhere nearer the shelves, Martin? From what I believe, Martin, Evie's done all the work putting right your mistakes. Ah, yeah, the first ones were in yet. I've got an MP one. I've got the National Power one with the silver and blue livery. That the old Lima ones you're collecting? Because Armby has the mould now, don't they? The tooling, because they bought Lima out. Well, the thing is, the new Hornby 66s, the Lima 59. I've not looked into it. I should look at them proper. What are the CD motors, Valley? Are they 5-pole or are they coreless? I'm presuming with them being a Ringfield motor, they'll be 5-pole. I'm assuming. Because coreless are usually can motors, aren't they? Yeah, I realise what they are, Valleys. I know what they are. I'm wondering how many poles they are. Like the old Triang had 3, and more modern ones, they have 5-pole motors. Just means they'll run smoother, especially on DCC, because it's the way the motor flicks over. You've got your 2 poles of it, and the more poles you have, the smoother it'll be, because it's less room till it transfers onto the next. Whereas if you have a 3-pole, when it's going slow, it'll be bop, 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 bop. Because there's more poles, it'll go bop, 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 and smoother running. Yeah, I've never looked into it. I am thinking of replacing some of them with CD motors. Yeah, I've seen that one. They're on YouTube. They sell them replacement XO4 replacement for XO4 motors. but they're about 40 quid. They're a good motor, but they're about 40 quid's worth. They have a flywheel on as well. They are on the expensive side. Especially, to be honest, if you're putting them in the old Army stuff, I'd imagine the best thing you'd get for upgrading them is get one of the neodymium mortars or whatever they are. The magnets, sorry. Neodymium mortar or something stupid. Not mortars. Start again, Paul. Neodymium magnet. I replaced one on my Flying Scotsman the other week, one I did in one of my builds. It's my most popular build. I renamed it into Shot Over. And it weren't running fantastic when I set my new oval up on my boarding. So I thought I'll try one of these magnets. And I bought one off Evening Mark. I bought one off eBay. Put it in, and it's amazing just changing the magnet how much it improves. Triangles running. Yeah, you're talking over 100 quid for a remagnetizer. I'd fancy one. Hey up! Are you sure you're not a northerner, Martin? Hey up! Oh, it's all right. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm just having my meds. So it's 9:30. Getting to time of evening where I notice it if I haven't taken it. Start going a bit fuzzy. I'm going to have a build. I've just opened my drawer and remembered something here. I'm going to have a build coming up. Where's me whippet? Yeah, doing good, Mark. Flat cap. Hey up, I do. I've got me bloody Brian Johnson flat cap. Well, the other day, as you may know if you've seen me vid, I got the Toy Story Loco. Now, I've got a motor for it and I've got all the other parts. I'll be doing it in a video that'll be up and coming at some point. But I thought, rather than the Toy Story, I want to make it into an American Loco. Because I thought it's right, it's 440 and everything. It's got all the right shapes, it looks good. It could be a bit more, but they don't do a tender for the Toy Story Loco. And I thought, where could I get a tender from? Thunderstruck, fantastic one. Especially if you watch Angus when he plays that with just hammer-ons and pull-offs with one hand. Fantastic player. Yeah, and I thought, where can I get a tender? And I was looking through all the American HO, and god damn it, of all the places, it turned up. Here we go. Triangle Davy Crockett tender. So Should look good together, mounted together. And as a local and tender. Draw back. Should look a nice little thing. So that's an up and coming project. I'll have to work out the coupling between them. Do a few repairs. I don't know why I didn't think of it, Valleys. I found it on eBay. There was one on eBay. Surprisingly, they don't, for what they are, because they're a fairly rare item now, some of them don't fetch big prices now. In fact, I'd hazard to say the old Triang stuff now is dropping in price compared to what it used to fetch years ago. Of course, the thing is, it's my theory, as you get old Hornby stuff now, the ore gauge doesn't fetch what it used to. They have to have really mint examples. And it's like I've said, the people that have the close association with them, that buy them when they get towards retiring, sadly, sad to look at it, but we're a dying breed. Yeah, Valley's ore gauges, without being putting too fine a point on it, the arse is falling out of ore gauge. The old Hornby ore, sadly, doesn't fetch what it once did. Yeah, it wasn't me then, Mark. I'm a bit further north than Surrey. Yeah, there's a few. There's a few on eBay, but I don't get it how people work out the eBay prices, because you think they go on and look at the item they're selling, how much it's selling for and how much it gets left. Watch a few of them, because I've watched some items on eBay at silly prices. They're advertised month after month. If you're not selling it at eBay and them prices, you're not going to get it. You look at the ones that are selling. What I do, we have every single thing I sell, 99p starting bid, and if I want a certain price, I put a reserve on it. Then people can bid, and it won't sell unless you get above what you want for it. So people will either stop bidding, or they'll think I'll have one more bid. You've more chance of selling it. Putting on ridiculous prices, people just scroll past you and look for the cheaper stuff. Yeah, you sold items, Mark. Have a look at a few, how many that have sold that have been bidded on. You'll normally find the bidded price is about the right market price. Whatever item you're selling, whatever it is on eBay, always look at the ones that are getting bidded on, that start at low starting prices, give people chance to bid, then they sell for what they're worth in general. If you've done your advert good and described it good, photographed it good, it'll get what it's worth all day. Yeah, for sure. And that's what, if you want one valley, if you want some one of them power cabs or whatever, it's worth taking a gamble sometimes. Sometimes they won't work, but in the case of locomotives, I take the gamble. If they don't work, they don't work. I've bought locos. People have said are working. They're not working, but if they look okay on the outside, in good general shape, most of the old locos, it's not going to take a lot to get them up and running. Yeah, yeah, that's fair enough, Mark. You get a lot of people, though. There's a lot of chances on eBay, and there's a lot of traders, unfortunately, that are chances. The best way to find out prices, what stuff goes for, is to visit a swap meet or toy fair. Have a look what people are selling for. Because eBay, some of the prices, they get something that's old and has a certain name, and they think they have the crown jewels in their possession. When half the time, a lot of Triang stuff now, princesses. There's so many Triang princesses around. In the 90s, I used to use them as keep net weights. So many of them around. When I went fishing, weight me keep net up. Because they weren't any good for runners, really. And if you didn't, there's so many of them about mint boxed. Yeah, you can, but yeah, I can believe it. I bought one. It was described as a runner, but people stood off on it because I knew it wasn't a runner. I knew they hadn't checked it. Because on the box, it was on one of my videos. I did a video of it. The Hornby Mallard, the R350. And it was described as a runner, and I looked at it. I thought, it's not going to run on DC or DCC, that. Because written on the box with a legend, module or whatever it was, module one, and you looked at it, there were cables between the local and the tender. I thought that's got a 01 module in it. And I stripped it and it was 01. Yeah, I believe you, Mark's fit. I never look at every time I look at Facebook Marketplace, there's nothing on. You can strike lucky. I got a good deal last night, really. I've got about 8, 9 Hornby wagons for renovation. They were about 12 quid, so it's only just above a quid each. I weren't arguing. Yeah, you take never been out the box, you take that with a pinch of salt. And yet I bought an Hornby iMac, and it was somebody that were obviously getting rid of an estate, and they didn't know what the parents or whatever had. And I bought an Army iMac, and that genuinely had, well, I don't think it'd have been out of box, to be honest. I've got it in my other room here. They were the first one to take the shell off, the first one to take the clip off the motor. It has no marks on the wheels. It's still the like nice condition black factory coating. No running on it. I put a scratch on the clip. I was the first one to take it off because the felt pads were bone dry in the motor. So I oiled the motor and everything, checked it, nice runner. It's back in box, but that is genuinely mint boxed and Army iMac. And I think I got that for about 20 odd quid. I've paid more for an unboxed iMac, and it were a non-runner. So how do you work that out? I bought the BR green one. Well, actually, no, I didn't pay more. I think I paid about 12 quid for that a toy fair. Yeah, they're not worth a lot, Triang princesses. The thing is, you can't run them on modern track unless you re-wheel them. If you re-wheel them, they're not accurate. They're miles out. Like, so do you want to go to the effort of re-wheeling them when the later Hornby is a much better example, and it'll run on track without doing anything to it? Bloody hell, Valleys, that's a good price. I'm taking that brass chassis, means it's a kit chassis. Hornby won't be a brass chassis. Very nice job. Yeah, I don't. I'm going to use more modern stuff. But what I'm going to do, I've got one of the old Hornby 3MT, old Triang 3MT tanks, and it's one of my favourites, so I thought I might be able to get the Hornby 3F wheels to fit, but the spokes don't match. They'd fit, but you actually you need the middle wheel off it to use for all your connecting rods. So it's difficult to alter it, because I've done it with the little 060, where one of the old Triang models, I got rid of all the old Triang wheels and I had an old Thomas chassis, so I put I had an old Hornby Ginty chassis, so I took the wheels off that and put them on that, and cracking little loco I made out of it. But what I'm thinking of doing is, I'm thinking of turning down the flanges on the 3MT tank, the Triang. I've got it on my bench. I think I'll do it in the next few videos. I think I'll turn down the flanges in the drill. Clamp my drill in the vise, get a file and turn down the flange so it runs on code 100. Not code 100, more modern stuff. Yeah, but I think it's code 100 valid. princesses still catch on Code 800. Yeah, they are. The pizza cutter, the massive flanges. They're absolutely massive. The early triangles, the huge wheels. Right, we're almost coming up to 2 hours, so I might call it a day in a bit. I might give it another 20 minutes. It's 1:40. See how we crack along. Because I want to get a shower and chill for tomorrow. I want to upload a video as well. Made a video today, so I want to put that up. The little Belgian railway ones. Yeah, I watch him occasionally. It's not particularly stuff I'm fully interested in, because I've had my days with Triang and stuff, but I do like popping in and having a look. I've got to admit, I do like, because I mean, it's your childhood, isn't it? We are generation. You used to sit in the living room on the carpet, Triang Railway down. I used to always be playing with my mate at his house. He had the Transcontinental set with a grey track that were like an embankment. I don't quite go back to Hornby Dublo valleys, although I have seen a couple of layouts with it at model railway exhibitions. But I don't quite go that far back. Fascinating stuff though, like the 3-rail, pick up the power from the centre rail, and the return was on the 2 outer rails. It just meant they didn't have to. It meant they didn't have to insulate the wheels. They didn't have to have insulators on it. They could just pick the power up from the centre and insulate the track. Not many people can say that, Valleys, that you've sat on Thomas's writer's knee. Bless him. Well, what year did he pass on? Roughly, I can't think now. Were it in the 80s he passed on, the Reverend Audrey? Somewhere around there. Yeah, could have been the 90s. I did think the 80s, but it could well have been 90s. He'd have been an old boy, though, like you said. Not many people can say they've done that. It's a claim to fame, isn't it? Oh, fantastic. You know, they're worth they'll be worth a mint in themselves to a collector, especially signed by him. And by original, I take it you mean first edition. Hi, Aussie dog. You probably caught us for about 20 minutes, so we're going to call it a night because I've nearly been on 2 hours. But make the most of it if you want to ask out while you're here. Oh, First edition, mint and signed. Jesus. And a full set. Be able to retire on that. Or at least a new car. No, too right. Some things are too valuable. Yeah, I won't be long behind you, Martin. Going to find the wench. Lovely having you along, Martin. If I'm off work, I'll catch you next week. I don't know what I'm on till I go in tomorrow. I'll never look. It avoids disappointment. Looking and thinking, oh shit, I have to go in again. Work it's the scourge of the drinking classes. Yeah, good to. I take it you've been videoing it, Martin. Yeah, I'm having a guest video be landing soon. So what have you been up to, Aussie dog? Out tonight before I disappear. See what you've been up to. Out, bit me tongue. No, I get you why you'd never sell them though, Vallis. Happy memories and precious. Some things are worth more than money. Although, like everything, I'll not sell a lot of my gear, but somebody will get them after I hang me clogs up. I am thinking about rationalising a lot of my stuff because I'm not getting any younger. I keep saying that though, just have what I need or what I want. Then the week after I go out and buy something else. Cool. Fantastic, mate. Ah, ah, bloody hell, Mick. Hey, Scotland, they bloody deep fry the things. Anything you can put batter on, they'll deep fry it. Yeah, I'm going to be mostly 80s, and I'm 80s UK around Manchester. And if I'm fully honest, I've got most eras. I've got quite a few different countries. Collection of locals is astounding. I've got a lot of American stuff because I really like the Athern American locals. They're bog basic, simple to work on, reliable. You can detail them up. I bought one the other day, a GP9. I really do like them. The American ones. I like working on them. I've got one here at the side of me that's a bit of a bitster. Bit of all sorts, but I think I've got the tanks somewhere for it. And I'm gonna... It's not perfect and not to any particular thing. An American would pull it a mile off. But I'm gonna put the railings on. Make the railings, and that'll do. Probably put lighting in it. That's if it isn't in there already. But that one's a Bachmann chassis, that. Yeah, you know, it's amazing. They're really cheap at them. Fantastic kit as well. I love them, and you know something, they've got the flywheels on, and they run at lower speeds than ours as well. They run at more scale speeds, I think. And the flywheel, they're a better big, even though they're old, they're a far superior piece of kit, running wise, than a lot of ours. 100%, 100%. Even the American Bachmann's better than ours. I've got a Union Pacific Bachmann with LED flashing light on top of cab and everything that are restored. That's an 80s loco and it's cracking. Really love them. It's as if the American market won't buy it unless it's quality. We just sort of hang out for anything. Anyway, folks, it's getting quiet now. I think folks are ready for off to bed and stuff. Proto again, yeah, I've got a couple of Proto. Some good stuff. I got I think it's a U-boat I got at Swap Meet. Somebody's unwired it. I've checked it and the motor's working. It needs a repaint. I'm going to strip the paint off, repaint and redecal it, rewire it. And it was 20 quid, but I said, come on, I've only got 15 quid left. She went, it's cheap enough already. I said, I know, but I want to take it, but I've only got 15 quid left. And she goes, oh, go on. So I got a Proto for 15 quid. Just needs rewiring and reliverying. So should be good. It looks like acrylic paint, so it'll come off no problem. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it were a dealer. Valleys. Good night, Jerry. Lovely to have you along, fella. Take care, buddy, and keep using all these British words on your American friends. We'll give you some homework when we see you next, so I can give you some more stuff to use on your American buddies. Yeah, I'll take that time now. We're coming up to... We've been on an hour and 55, so I'll say... Tatty pie, everybody. tatty pie, and take care. Take care, one and all. It's been a lovely evening, lovely chat with you people. And I'll catch you up next week. I'm going to look. When I go off here, I'm going to put thank you, Valleys. Lovely having a chat. When I go off here, I'm going to load up a video I've made. So, yeah, it's a pleasure having you all along. It's been lovely. You're the people that make it, contributing, having a chat. Otherwise, it'd just be me on my own going, where is everyone? Anyway, I'll bug out and take care, people. Tatty pie.